Hi guys, welcome to my channel. If it's your first time here, welcome. If you're a returning visitor, welcome back. If you like the content, click like and subscribe and do all the usual guff. It really does help the channel grow. Alright, Pink Floyd's Animals 2018 remix review. Where do I start with this? Right. So there was a delay in me getting this because I had ordered the box set, as you know. If you'd see my unboxing video, which I'll link below. I've been living with the recording of this since it was released in September, actually, because I managed to get the computer files for it. So I've been living with the remix in my car and in my house since it was released back in September. But I wanted to hold off of doing a review until I got the proper physical product in my hand. So I'm aware of the differences between the original and the remix well in advance of that, but I wanted to listen to the vinyl record to get the full impact of the remix, really. Right, so I've done a comparison. This is a comparison against the recent Bernie Grundman remaster. This is the original 77 mix, but Bernie remastered it and cut it from digital files, you know, but it's still a really, really good remaster. This is basically polished the original 77 mix and made it a lot more listenable. The original 77 mix, for want of a better word, is dire. It's not very good at all. The sound quality is pretty grim, and yeah, it needed something doing to it. So we've got this. This is the new remix, 4 years late, due to a bit of bickering between Messrs Waters and Gilmour regarding liner notes. I really don't know why they couldn't have put the liner notes in the booklet. You know, I think Gilmour was being a bit pretentious, really. He should have just said, yeah, we'll have the liner notes. Because at the end of the day, the whole concept of Animals was Roger Waters' concept. And he knows where it come from. It come out of his head. So I think it was only right that they let him have the liner notes in there. So what I'm thinking about doing is actually copying the liner notes off of his website, which I believe they're still up there, printing them out and slipping them in here just for my own use, really. But yeah, so we've got the box set. I won't go over the box set because I've done that in the unboxing video, which I'll link to below. This is around about the review. Now, what I've done to do this review is I used the CD out of this, and I put the vinyl record version on and the CD of this, and I compared the two. They're very close. When I listen to them on my system, the vinyl is just as good as the CD. It really is. So I used the CD from this, and I played the vinyl of the original 77 remix. So I was flicking between the 2018 remix and the 77 remaster. Sorry. Where do I start? Right, off the bat, this is brilliant. This is hands down the best I've ever heard Animals. This is great. This is better than the original cut from 77. It's a Bernie Grundman remaster. This is really good. For want of a better word, Bernie's polished the turd here. He's done a really good job on it, but this is totally on another level. There's things on this new remix that you just don't hear on the original. So let's first of all deal with the failure rate issue. I was lucky with mine. Mine is in perfect condition. There's no scratches on it. There's the odd pop and click due to dust. Excuse me. But clean record, it's been fine. Like I say, I've got a Blu-ray player on my TV, but I need to hook it up to my stereo system. I'm thinking about getting a Blu-ray SACD player for my system, and maybe linking some surround sound speakers up to that so that I can enjoy 5.1. But we'll see. That's maybe something for the new year. But my God, this is there's differences. There's subtle differences, like on Pigs on the Wing parts 1 and 2. The reverb has been removed, or if it is there, it's very, very minimal. And they've made it sound more desolate, more Orwellian, if you like. It's more sort of barren, is the only way I can describe it. Dogs, when that starts, right, so first of all, the bass guitar now sounds like a bass guitar, and the drums are better separated. The separation is across the soundstage better. There's more punch. The kick drum now is so heavy it kicks you in the chest. It's so good. When you flick over to this, it's absolute. This is awful. This is absolutely awful. I'll probably never play this again, ever. I'll probably never play this version again. This is going to be my go-to. Yes, it's digital, I don't care. This is digital, you know, but my God. Right, so yeah, so there's delays on Gilmour's voice on Dogs that you just don't hear on the original mix because they're buried so far into it, and it's so muddy a production that you just can't hear them. There's keyboards that are so lost in the original mix you can't hear them, but when you put this version on, they pop out of the speakers. They're there. And up until now they were so buried that you couldn't really hear them or make them out. Yeah, David Gilmour's guitar solos are now front and centre on Dogs, which is where they should be. The 77 mix, you know, this is really difficult for me because I grew up with Animals. It is my favourite Pink Floyd album by far and above my favourite album of theirs. But I've always known that it's a really shitty mix. It was never that good. They recorded it at Britannia Row. It was the only album they recorded in Britannia Row. The studio had its snags and its teething problems throughout the recording of Animals. They had Brian Humphries engineering it, and he did the best he could with the equipment that they had. But let's face it, Britannia Row was never going to be as good as Abbey Road. Or even Super Bear, for that fact. When they recorded The Wall, they recorded that in France as a tax dodge. And they recorded it at Super Bear Studios. And The Wall sounds magnificent in comparison to the original mix of this. You know, Dark Side of the Moon was recorded at Abbey Road. Wish You Were Here was recorded at Abbey Road. Everything that they'd done up until Animals was recorded at Abbey Road. And they all sound fantastic. This is awful. I've always liked the album, but from a sound perspective, this is not good at all. If you're going to buy Animals, buy this one. Other standout moments. Oh yeah, I've got a big collection of Animals tour bootlegs, and during during Sheep, there's a section about a minute before the Psalm 23 section where you hear David Gilmour just playing clean guitar chords. Billing, billing. On the original, it's just those chords, but on the remix, there's heavy delay on that guitar, and it repeats that guitar chord. That's exactly what they done live, which is why I was talking about the tour bootlegs that I've got, because in every bootleg, his guitar has got a heavy digital delay on it, where he plays the chord and it just repeats it 4 or 5 times. Then he plays the next chord and it repeats that 4 or 5 times. Now, okay, live, it got a little bit messy, but on here, it sounds wonderful. And it's totally missing on this, totally missing. Now, whether it's on the recording and it was lost in the mix, or they've added it, maybe at David Gilmour's request, I don't know, but if they've done that, if they've added it to this, brilliant, good call. Onto the Psalm 23 section. The Lord is my shepherd bit, yeah. On this, you can barely make out what's being said. On this, you can make out exactly what's being said. All of it, right up until the end. It's just so good. The drums are punchy. The kick drum and the snare snap. The bass guitar, oh god, the bass guitar on Pigs, 3 different ones, is phenomenal. David Gilmour's bass guitar on that is great. Basically, you know, they've done a really, really stellar job on this remix. It's my opinion. I know there's a lot of purists out there that say, oh yeah, but the original 77 mix is great. It's meant to sound doomy and gloomy. But I don't agree. I don't agree with that at all. They didn't go out of their way to make it sound shit. You know, they were working in limited circumstances in Britannia Road. They had basically they had all the gear and no idea, you know, and it shows on this, you know, so that's it really. Are there any, you know, things that, yeah, that they've missed out on some good opportunities here. Now, there's been a lot of talk from people on different forums. Oh, we want some live material. That was never going to happen. That was never going to happen. The only official live material recorded from the In the Flesh tour are the monitor mixes. And they were recorded via the monitor desk at the side of the stage. There's no audience noise on those, and they're not mixed. And they're literally the mixes from their monitoring systems, the on-stage wedgies that they were using at the time. There were a few front of house recordings done from the mixing desk, but they were deemed as, you can't mix them. It's one or two, it's two stereo, 2 tracks. Recorded on something like a Nagra or something like that. I don't know what it was recorded, a Nakamichi cassette player or something like that. Basically 2 microphones at the mixing desk pointing out towards the stage and picking up what was being played. They are unmixable because they're purely live documents for them. It was never going to happen. Now, I know there's lots of really good high quality unofficial recordings of the In the Flesh tour, but why should Pink Floyd release them? They weren't recorded by them, and it's nothing, you know. I know on the Pulse DVD they did the bootleg in the bootleggers section where they had a video of them performing What Do You Want From Me, I think, and that was a bootleg version. Yeah, and it's crap in comparison to the rest of the DVD. I think they learnt a lesson there. We was never going to get live stuff. There just isn't any material there to release. The one big omission that I think they should have included on this, on either the DVD, well, any of the Blu-ray, DVD or the CD, is they should have included the 8-track version of Pigs on the Wing. That is a missed opportunity. That's only ever been available on the 8-track, and it's now been lost forever. Now, whether they haven't got the multi-tracks for that, again, I don't know. Snowy White did his own recording of it. He took the original multi-tracks and he put a new guitar solo over it for his own album, actually. I forget the name of the album, but it was an early 80s album. But that's a missed opportunity. I think they should have included the 8-track version of Pigs on the Wing. Maybe they should have included some alternate live versions of You've Got to Be Crazy and Raving and Drooling from earlier in the 70s when they were on the Dark Side tour. They were performing those songs in 74 and 75. They go back that far. Maybe they should have included some unheard versions of those, because we know they have got those on tape from recordings, from live recordings that they did. There's a few things they could have done, but bottom line is we was never going to get any recordings from the 77 tour. They should have included Pigs on the Wing 8-track Snowy White mix. They should have included that. It was a missed opportunity, I think. But other than that, this is stellar. I've included some affiliate links at the bottom, so you can either buy the box set or the standalone album. I've included that at the bottom. It helps the channel if you fancy buying a copy of Animals to 2018 remix. That'd be great. That's it for this week, guys. Hopefully it's a fair review. I think it is a fair review. I'm a pretty staunch Pink Floyd fan. I have been for many, many years. Animals is very, very close to my heart. Has been for many years. So I was hoping that the remix was going to do the album justice. My thoughts are it's blown the original one. The original mix is blown it out of the water. So yeah, the new 2018 remix is the one to buy. It's absolutely brilliant and it's a no-brainer. Thanks for joining me. We'll catch up later. See you later. Bye.